Hi guys, welcome to the In the Game Room podcast. I am in the workshop today and I have some things to get caught up on, a little bit of hobby news, things I've been working on, some new tools that I bought that I want to talk about, and then I want to talk about buying pre-painted miniatures from other people and a little story about that. First off, let's get this out of the way. You can't see this yet, or maybe you can, but I make these boxes for transporting miniatures. I started off making them just for 6mm miniatures, micro armor. Then when I started getting into bolt action, I made some taller ones that have cutouts in them that are perfect for the bolt action figures, and I magnetized the bottoms, and that way they stay in there. But anyways, long story short, you can stack these up, they're modular, and then I make this sort of optional lid, which I don't think is optional. I kind of like having the lid on there so that your miniatures don't get dusty. But I make this lid, and my gaming buddy Chris is working on his Imperial Japanese Army and his Imperial Japanese whatever it's called, their version of the Marines. So he's working on those, and I'm going to make him some boxes with the proper size cutouts and everything. And we were talking about a lid for his, and he sent me some artwork that he wanted on the lid, so I'm custom engraving and custom painting a lid for him. This is just the top piece, this piece here. I haven't assembled anything yet, but done the text here. Apparently one of these says Imperial Japanese Army and the other one says the Special Marine Beach Landing Force guys, whatever they're called. And one of these logos is for the Army and one is for the Special Marines. So we've done the black, they're engraved into the wood and painted, and then we've done the two flags engraved into the wood and painted red, and now these other bits out here will be hand painted white at some point. I think I'm going to let him do that. But so that's coming out pretty cool. It's going to be, that's going to be kind of a cool lid for his miniatures boxes. So that's something I'm working on just as a fun hobby thing. It's kind of cool that I have a job that I love doing, and I love doing it so much that sometimes I just do things for my friends because I'm having fun and I just can't stop myself. I was going to cut the boxes for him and send them to him as kits, but I think I'm probably going to assemble them and everything just because, like I said, it's fun, and I'm kind of weird like that. So the next thing I want to talk about is the static grass flocking, or whatever you want to call it, and the equipment to do it. These are two bits of equipment that I bought from WWS, which is something scenery. I can't remember the name, but if you just look up WWS static grass on the internet, you'll find these devices. So I have two different devices here that are very different, that do basically the same thing. This is some people call this a flock box. I forget exactly what they call it. They call it a grass box. And what you do is you take your miniature on its base. After you put the glue on it, you clip this to it. I demonstrated this actually in another video, so I don't need to go into it again. But you put the fibers on here, the static grass, turn it on, and they jump up and they get on this thing. This one here is more for doing larger areas. You put the glue down on your terrain or your base or whatever, and then what most people do is they'll stick a little metal pin into the terrain, and then they'll clip this on it, turn this on. There's static grass in here, and you just kind of shake it, and it's literally a grass shaker, and all the grass comes down and hits the glue and stays standing up, and everybody's happy. It's a great thing. I have a sample. I'll have to take a picture of this probably, unless it shows up, but this is some static grass that was applied over a larger area. That was just a test. Now, when I bought these two devices, I kind of was kicking myself a little for buying this one, because I knew that 90% of the work I was going to do, at least 90%, was going to be using this, because I was just going to do bases, and I thought this would be perfect. But I went ahead and bought this anyways, just because that's how I roll. I like to buy cool toys for my hobby. And immediately I kind of regretted it, because I thought it was just kind of a dumb purchase. But after using this for a while, I discovered something about it. I started off with the static grass that I already owned, and it was from Woodland Scenics, and it was real short. I want to say like it was around 3 millimeters, maybe about 1/8 of an inch, and that worked great using this. And then I ordered some 10 millimeter and 12 millimeter static grass for these marines that I was working on. And when I was using this with the taller grass, it was not working very well at all, and I couldn't figure out why until I got into the instruction sheets for this. I had read through this completely and thought I'd caught everything, but there was one little bit hidden for some reason under safety instructions where it doesn't belong. It says the grass box is not suitable for applying 6 millimeter or 10 millimeter static grass. If you require this, blah blah blah, use this. And like I said, that was hidden in the safety instructions, and I read everything but that, I guess. So now I know that 6-inch, 10-inch, they didn't even mention 12, but I have 12 here. So none of those taller grasses work with this, or they don't work very well. So I didn't know that at the time. So now I'm glad I got this, because I'm not using this as much now, and I'm using this kind of in this way. I'll clip it here, and then I'll just shake it onto the base like this, and that's working nicely. So I am really glad that I bought this after all. I thought it was probably a mistake, and I thought, oh, I'll just put it away, maybe I'll use it someday on a big piece of terrain or something. But no, I'm using it on all these here. So let me get these guys out of the way. So these are the marines that I just finished up. You guys can see them, but you can't see them very well because they're very small. So I'll put a picture up over here. See that? That's a picture. So you guys can see what they look like. I think they came out pretty well. The tall grass is really cool. It makes it look like, you know, they're in the jungle, which is what they're supposed to be. There's about, I counted them, I can't remember the number, there's about 50 of them, I think. So if they're regular, there's about 500 points worth of marines there. If they're veterans, that's more. 50 times 13. So it's a pretty good start on my marines. I think it's probably all I'm going to do, except for I want to do a medic. I want to do a Willys Jeep with 50 cal and the whole crew, all 4 guys, 1 driver and 3 guys in the back manning the 50. And then I might do a chaplain as well, just to have one. I'm not sure if I'll use it or not. I've never played a chaplain before, but I might like to try it just to see what effect it has and if it's worth whatever it costs. So those are done, and I'm pretty happy with the way they came out. So the next thing I want to talk about today with you guys is buying pre-painted miniatures, or buying miniatures from somebody else that has painted them up already. This is something that as a rule I don't do. I don't have anything against anybody doing it. A lot of people do it, and a lot of people actually make a decent amount of money painting miniatures for other people, and that's really cool. That's a cool service a lot of people use. I don't do it myself usually for 2 reasons. The first and most important reason is that I love painting. So for me to pay somebody else to paint just doesn't make any sense. I'm paying somebody to do something that I really enjoy, so that doesn't really make much sense. So that's the main reason. The second reason is when you're buying miniatures from somebody else and they're already painted, you're paying the cost of the miniatures, and you're paying the cost of something for the paint job, and that's fine. It's worth it if that's what you want to do. But for somebody like me, I'm a dealer. I sell 6mm GHQ micro armor. I sell bolt action figures, sell a lot of different figures. So of course I buy them wholesale. So for me to pay somebody what they paid for the miniatures, which is retail, and then on top of that the painting, it just doesn't make any sense for me financially. And like I said, the most important, that reason really doesn't matter that much. The main reason is that I just love painting miniatures, whether it's figures, vehicles, 28 millimeter, 6 millimeter, whatever. I just like doing it. So I don't buy miniatures pre-painted from anybody. I just don't. That being said, I did it today. I bought some, and for a very good reason, I feel. I have some boxes of miniatures here that actually I've just barely got into looking at. I told you guys probably in late July, maybe it was early August, I did a podcast where I talked about a friend of mine, Tim, that had passed away in July. He was a local, well, Southern California, Los Angeles area gamer, and he was a serious collector of miniatures and figures and serious historian. He's actually written a couple of books. He studies, you know, everything that he's going to paint. He studies in great detail and then, you know, duplicates it in miniature. As far as I'm concerned, perfectly. I don't think I'm going to be able to find any flaws, because this guy knew so much more about uniforms and colors and things like that, things that I'll just never know. So he had quite a collection of miniatures. He had, you know, thousands and thousands of different miniatures. 15 millimeter. He was big into Team Yankee. He had some 28 millimeter bolt action figures, all kinds of stuff, and board games forever. I saw probably at least 1,000 boxed board games at the sale I went to today. So anyways, today was the estate sale, where they were selling, his family was selling his miniatures and his games. It was by invitation only to his friends, acquaintances, other gamers that he knew and that knew him. So I went down there. It was 120 miles or something each way. It was a bit of a drive for me, but it was certainly worth it. And I picked up some of his miniatures. I didn't go there thinking I need miniatures. I don't have enough, because that's simply not the case. I do have enough. I wasn't going there looking for any kind of bargain. It was made very clear in the announcement, this was not, you know, this was not a fire sale. They're not trying to unload all this stuff. This is for people that want to pick up his work and, you know, sort of preserve it, keep it in the family, so to speak, among friends and you know, co-gamers and whatnot. So I didn't go there expecting any great fantastic deals. I didn't go there because I need to get miniatures. I went there to see, you know, what he had, what it looked like, and, you know, see what I could pick up. So I did. I'll be posting pictures of these over one of my shoulders so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. But there's 113 individual figures. Some of those are on stands, you know, with crew-served weapons or team weapons. There's quite a few weapons in here, mortars, pack guns, things like that. But what we have here is about 29 SS guys, and I'm pretty sure most of these guys are going to be metal, because no, they have to be. Warlord is just coming out with their plastic SS guys now, so all of these are going to be metal for sure. He's done some incredible things here. Well, the basing on all of them is really nice. He went with a black around the edge. So I normally go with a brown, but I'm liking the black. It looks really cool. It makes each piece kind of look like a display, you know, a diorama on its own. But he's done a light machine gun here with the ammo guy. He's done some ammo boxes. You can't see it on the video, but hopefully it'll come out in the photo. There's a whole shit ton of spent casings on the ground, little bits of brass. He's got the, now I don't know the terminology, and I used to be an M60 gunner when I was in the Army. The deal that flips up on the top so you can put the belt in. He's got that flipped up. I'm not sure that's really part of the miniature or if that's something he did custom. But guy put a lot of work into every single one of these, and I haven't even gotten to the camouflage on the uniforms yet. The camouflage is amazing, and I'm sure because it was Tim that this camouflage is absolutely accurate. He's done, like on the mortars, each individual guy can be taken out, and of course they're magnetized, so they'll stick in there. So if, you know, one guy gets killed, you can take him away. Again, I'll be posting pictures of these up. just the level of detail in the paint jobs that I'm just getting a good look at these for the first time really myself. I saw them there, but the light wasn't very good, and I was more interested in just getting them and getting back home basically. But now that I'm looking at them, yeah, they're just quite amazing. There's a couple of pack guns in here. There's a Nebelwerfer, whatever it's called. Really great piece here. The LMG on the other guy's shoulder. He's holding the bipod. We'll get some pictures up of those. So those are the SS guys. There's, like I said, about 29 of them, and then, you know, various weapons. Additionally, I got 2 boxes of US paratroopers, and the same quality, same detail, same, you know, attention to detail on the paint job. Those had the German SS guys had the camouflage. Of course, the Americans don't have camouflage, but they have plenty of other little details to make up for it. He's gone and done all of the shoulder patches and things like that. Just really great paint jobs. And yeah, this is the one. I'll post up some close-up pictures of this too. But this is a 2-man mortar team. I'm pretty sure that's a light mortar. And what he's done here is, on team weapons like this, you know, if one guy gets killed, you want to somehow show that. A lot of people put a little ring around the neck or something, or put a bit of cotton or something on there so that the guy's burning or whatever. But what Tim has done is he's actually magnetized the second guy, so you can literally just pull him away and there'll be a spot there in the grass where he used to be, and you put him back there, the magnet, he's not going anywhere. So that is really cool what he's done there. Like I said, I'll post up a lot of close-up pictures of these, because some of these little team weapons and crew-served weapons are just works of art. I mean, they're just a little diorama unto themselves. And it's just another one of the mortars with the guy that's removable on a magnet, and he just looks so natural when he's in there, and it looks natural when he's away. It looks like he just walked off. So we got a couple of mortars. We got a towed howitzer. I'll have to look up and see what this is. It's definitely not a 105, probably something in the 70 millimeter range. And just a whole bunch of figures. There's 40, 80, 84 Americans here. So total in everything, there's 113 figures of just individual people, including the crew serve weapons, and then there's, you know, several weapons. So yeah, I'll be going through this, looking at all of them and taking pictures of them and stuff. Oh, here's a radio guy. I'll have to get a picture of this for you guys. A radio guy. He's actually got an antenna on his radio, which is really cool. And as a matter of fact, he's got a looks like he's actually speaking into a you know, a little microphone type thing. I don't know if he added that or if that's the way the miniature comes. Either way, it's pretty fabulous. Looks great. Yeah, I just can't say enough about how beautiful these figures are and how honored I am to have them. I'm going to make you know, transport boxes for them, and where this one says U.S. Marines, I'm going to have something on there that says like Tim's Troops or something, and then under that it'll say U.S. Army Airborne or German SS. But I really want to give him credit. Anywhere I go with these miniatures, I don't want anybody to even think for a second they're mine. These are Tim's. He put a lot of love into doing these, and now I'm looking at my Marines over here going, you guys suck. These are just so much better. It's just a whole nother level. But that was Tim. He was a master model maker and painter. So anyways, I'm really pleased to have these. So I think that's it for this episode. I just wanted to go over what I'm working on, this recent acquisition, and just give all the love and praise to Tim for doing this work. And I'm proud to be the guy that's going to sort of curate this collection and use it. We're going to be doing a tournament at one of the Strategicon conventions soon. Probably next year. The first one is in February. We'll probably do it then, and we'll probably do it annually. And it's going to be a bolt action tournament, and it's going to be the Tim Keenan Memorial Tournament. And I will be so happy to bring these and use these in the tournament named after him. That'll be so cool. So there you go. Unfortunate circumstances that I came into owning these, but I'm very happy that I do have them. And some other people bought some others. I saw a guy walking away with one of these plastic trays of the German paratroopers, because I can't say Fallschirmjäger or whatever it is. So he got some German paratroopers. So that's cool that, you know, I'm not the only guy that got them all. They got spread out a little, so that's nice. However, if those paratroopers were available when I got there, I'd probably have those too, because I was prepared to take, you know, whatever he had. But that's cool that somebody else got to share in this as well. So that's it for now. I will see you guys again soon, and until next time, keep on gaming.